Hello, beautiful people on the internet. It's me, Grattify What Ifs, and I'm here to tell you what if Deku was Green Ninja Part 7. I'm back again. And well, I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry for the late uploads. Like legit, I need to find schedule for this kind of shit. But anyway, I hope that you can forgive me with this. But anyway, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and comment down below any kind of what if ideas you want me to do in the near future. Now that I've gotten the checklist out of the way, let's get straight into this, shall we? So last I left off, Izuku Midoriya faced off against his proud bully Katsuki Bakugo in the Heroes vs Villains exam, and he was buried under tons of rubble after using a damaged version of Bakugo's gauntlets in order to win said exam. Now we cut to Izuku. He is 5 years old again. He doesn't know what's going on, and he looks around to see that he's in a maze field. Then he spots his mom, his master, and a tall, dark, mysterious figure, although it looked somewhat familiar to him. As he walked towards them, he started to have a good time. They made food for him and patted him on the head. Everything felt like everything shed off from his back, all that responsibilities, all that destiny nonsense. Then the mysterious figure turned to speak to him. As he did, his voice was ragged and raspy, and this gave Izuku a chill that ran down all to his spine. You believe yourself to be safe? Don't fool yourself. Everyone here, your people, this road you walk on, this world, it will be mine soon enough. As he finished, the mazes died and Wu and his mom faded out into darkness, turning into dust. Then the ground beneath him felt like it had disappeared, merging with the darkness as well, and Izuku fell. And as he fell, he could feel himself being trapped in some kind of endless void. He was falling down in a loop and he knew it. When he looked up, he saw two giant glowing red eyes facing him. He woke up screaming and he didn't know what to do. He was sweating bullets. But before he could do anything else, he felt a sharp pain pierce his arm. He looked down and saw that he was in a casket, then saw that he was in a hospital bed. Before he could fully register where he was suddenly grabbed from behind into a tight hug. "I'm glad you're okay," says Ochako, worried. Izuku turned and saw that she was still in her hero costume, looked at himself and saw that he was also in his hero costume. Thanks, Uraraka, but can you let me go now?" "Oh, right, sorry." She apologized and then quickly backed away from him, almost blushing a little bit. Where am I? Izuku wondered, his head still fuzzy. And why are you guys still in your hero costumes? They both looked at each other, then back to Izuku. "You don't remember what happened in the training exam?" Ida said to Izuku, who was also still in his hero costume. Ida, not Izuku. Izuku tried to remember it. He remembers explosions. Then he remembers a voice. Then suddenly everything cut to black. "I don't remember much, but there was something about rocks?" Izuku said, puzzled. And Ida sighed. "Well, it ain't surprising, given that you were buried under 5 tons of it." "What?" Izuku exclaimed, absolutely shocked by what Ida just said. But before they could continue talking, Recovery Girl had walked into the room. "What are you two doing? I told you to call me if he was awake," she said, a little bit disappointed at the two. And Ochako went to go raise up her hand and said, "But he out," she ordered, pointing at the door. The two decided to follow her and, obey her because she's still a hero, and went out the door. As they had went out, Recovery Girl walked close to Izuku and then formed her lips into a pouting motion. Izuku was a little bit disgusted by this. What the heck? But before he could finish, he trailed off as her lips began to extend and then kissed him on the arm. Then it suddenly felt better. Not healed, but definitely better than what it was before. There, that should do it. Your arm will be healed in a few weeks, but you should really be careful from now on. This arm received massive damage. Izuku nodded to this and he said, "Okay, got it, and thank you." Recovery Girl just didn't pay attention. Don't thank me. Just don't try something that reckless again just because you have a good quirk. Izuku was confused by what she said. Huh? And Recovery Girl was very puzzled at this. But she just shrugged. "It looks like you don't remember that either, so let me give you a rundown. Apparently, apart from your arm, you protected yourself with some kind of energy shield. That's how they found you, but it dissipated when they dug you out." Izuku was still a bit dizzy about this, but then his eyes went wide and he looked down. Then he realized something. His theory that he had made before. The weapons are protecting him, but they aren't giving him his power. And if that's the case, why haven't they? Recovery Girl tapped him on the head with her cane and said, "Just don't do crazy things like that next time, okay?" Izuku looked up and smiled at her, saying, "No worries." But behind that smile was a mask, and what he truly felt, he was just a kid who wanted some answers. Later that day, he was discharged and he met up with Ochako and Ida. As they were heading home, however, they were hearing someone screaming at them. They looked back and they saw that it was Bakugo. "Hey nerd!" he called out to Izuku, and he had a murderous look on his face. Ochako and Ida blocked his path. "What do you want from him now? Don't you think that you've done enough already?" Both of them told the child, but he just simply moved them out of the way. And he faced Izuku, and Izuku faced him, neither of them backing down. Bakugo scratched his head and said, "I'm sorry." Izuku was shocked, and just to make sure that his ears were working, he asked, "Come again?" "I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean for anything like that to happen. I'm glad that you're alright." Ochako was surprised. Ida was surprised, but Deku was even the most surprised because he never expected someone like Kachan to just apologize to him from out of nowhere. "Look, just because I apologize to you today, don't expect anything crazy from me in the future, got it?" He bumped into Izuku and went on his merry way. Ida and Ochako came up to him and Izuku was still very confused. "So that happened," Izuku said, and they went on their merry way. The next few weeks passed by and everything was, well, good. So far, school performed normally. No one did any practicals for a while, and Izuku obviously still had that cast over his arm. Anyway, as they were in school one morning, Ochako went to go ask, "So, how's the arm lately?" Izuku went to go move up his shoulder, showing that the healing process was doing its job. "Pretty far so good. I think in the next few days or two, I should be good." "Awesome," she replied. And well, next thing you know, Aizawa walked in. "Good morning, class." "Good morning, Mr. Aizawa," all of them said in unison, and then quickly took their seats. Aizawa walked up to the podium and faced all of them. "It took you all 4 seconds to shut up. It's an improvement from yesterday when it only took you 6 seconds. They all froze up, waiting for whatever this hero could throw at them, because just a few weeks ago, this was the same man that nearly crushed all of their dreams by wanting to expel them. So, there is an activity that you guys have to do." They waited, holding their breath. "Today, you all will be picking your class president and assistant class president for the rest of the semester." They all let out a huge sigh of relief, expecting it to be some kind of another expulsion threat. Then they were all surprised as their brains started to process what he just said. And they began to chatter a little bit. "Yeah, so do it however you want it to be. Just make sure that it's fair and don't disturb the entire school. Also, make sure that you choose the right person because there's not going to be any recounts anybody." As he was saying this, he went to go sit back on his chair and lounge. Then the next thing you know, they started to hear snoring. They all, well, as kids, started to feel the innate ability to try and make noise, but again, this is Aizawa, so they didn't bother to do so. They began to debate among themselves over what would be the best course to elect these, well, electives. And Ida had suggested the box thing like in canon, and they began to vote. As the votes had finished, they went to go call up Aizawa and he began to look through the votes. Izuku went to go whisper to Ochako, "Who do you think will win this?" Ochako went to go whisper back, "I don't know, but I hope the person I voted for wins." She flashes a quick smile at him, then focused back at Aizawa, just like everyone else, waiting impatiently for the results. Izuku got his head down and began to think, who will win this, I wonder? He went to go look at Bakugo and was like, doubt it. Then he went to go look at Todoroki, that one weird boy with a half and half quirk, as he remembered in the entrance exam. Then he looked to other people such as Tenki, Kirishima. He doesn't know them well enough, but he doesn't believe that they fit the role either. So that only leaves... He looked to Ida, thinking that he would be, well, the most obvious choice for class president. Then Aizawa began to speak. "Okay, so how I'm going to do is that if you hear your name, you come to the podium. You hear?" They all nodded in agreement. "Okay then. First off, as assistant class president, we have Momo Yaoyorozu." They all applauded for her as she walked past all of them to the podium. Izuku began to wonder now. So she's assistant. I think she could be good. At least better than some of them. Even better than Ochako. Now for class president. So for class president as well, we have Izuku Midoriya. As he said this, Izuku turned to him and was absolutely shocked. "Me?" Everyone turned to him and flashed a big bright smile to him and then began to applaud for him. So he had no other choice but to get up and to walk towards the podium, a little bit unsure of if this was actually real. So yeah, these two are your class presidents. Don't say that I didn't warn you, because there's definitely going to be no recounts. No changing, no nothing. And you two, do the best. You got it? Of course. Momo responded, completely sure of herself. And Izuku, he stammered a bit, saying, I'll do my best. Later that day, as they were having lunch, Ida, Ochako, and Deku were just chilling. and Izuku was playing with his food a bit, thinking about today's events. "What's wrong, Izuku?" Ochako asked, and Izuku had no other choice but to just simply answer. "I'm a bit surprised. I didn't expect to win." "Why wouldn't you win?" Ida responded to that question, and Deku had to fall down into this deeper rabbit hole. "Well, it's just I've been so new here, I didn't really expect all of this." "What are you talking about? You deserve to be in that role. You're calculating, strategic, and even risking your body to complete a mission like in that test a few weeks ago. This is some of the other reasons why we voted for you. Well, there's a reason why I voted for you anyway." He continued to eat, and Izuku was dumbfounded. But there was also another thing plaguing his mind. Did they just pick me because I was strong or something? Because he was starting to try and figure out this society. As you know, he lived in the monastery. He expected it to be a little bit more brighter, but he thinks that this society is built on, well, survival of the fittest, so to speak, or the stronger is the best. As he was continuing eating, however, Momo came up to him with a bunch, and I mean a bunch of paperwork. Izuku was confused by this, and he was like, "Excuse me? Finally found you. So yeah, this is what we have to do." "But it's lunch," Izuku said to her, and she just rolled her eyes. "Well, it doesn't matter. We have to get all these things done before day is over. So we have to take out the class attendance, check off the homework from all the teachers, get their signatures." As she continued to ramble on, her eyes were closed, and Ochako and Ida decided to just step back slowly. Well, to be more precise, Ochako dragged Ida slowly from the conversation. Izuku noticed what they were doing and mouthed, "Don't you dare leave me." But Ochako was like, No, this is all you. Good luck." Ida was confused by this because why is he being taken away, but he didn't matter, he just went with it. And that's about it. Where are the other two? "Traitors," Izuku whispered to himself, and Momo was like, "Excuse me?" "Nothing." Now they went to the library and began to check off everything. Izuku had to write with his right arm, and he was pretty thankful that his mistake did not cause him to lose his right arm instead, otherwise this would have taken way longer. "So, yeah, my neck hurts a lot," he says as he begins to crack his neck a bit. And Momo was like, "Really? Well, that's easy." She went down to her thigh and began to pull something out. It was a neck pillow. "Whoa," Izuku said, amazed by what just happened. "Here you go." As she gave Izuku the neck pillow, he put it around his neck. "That's so cool. What's a quirk?" Mine is creation. Basically, I can create anything as long as I know what it's made of." "That's a pretty dope quirk. Definitely more versatile than most of the quirks that I know in our class." He stammered a bit because, well, he felt the relaxation of the pillow and nearly wanted to fall asleep. "Thanks, but flattery won't get you out of this work." I know, he said, and then they continued to do the work as well. Now, as they continued, however, they went to go hear the alarm bells going off. "What's going on?" Izuku said, as well. He didn't say anything. Now let me just fully explain what's happening. The library, there's no teacher there. It's usually just free to those that need to read it or need to do homework. And, well, the alarm system was blinking red and was singing off an alarm. What's that? What's happening? Is the alarm meaning that there's an intruder in the school? Didn't you read the code? The code of conduct? Momo asked him, and Izuku just simply nodded no. I guess I had to expect that. Really, I would have preferred the one with glasses over you. But basically, there's an intruder in the school. We need to exit the building now. As she said this, she went out to the door, and as she did, all of the students was literally just there. It was filled up. Holy shit. Izuku expressed himself. I'm sorry for all these making up words things. I'm just trying to make it sound a little bit more interesting. Sorry guys. Anyway, just try and follow up. Momo was caught up in this entire madness because she was the first person to go in, and she was literally sucked into that thing like a black hole. Next thing you know, she had disappeared. Izuku took 5 steps back because he did not want what just happened to Momo to happen to him, especially with his broken arm. Then the next thing you know, a student popped out and closed the door behind her. It was Ochaku. "They are animals! Animals, I say!" she shouted. And Izuku was like, well, what's fully going on? Why is everybody just blocked? I know that there's some kind of intruder, but he stopped himself as he felt something, a connection, just passing through him underneath the floor, as he could just feel it behind the other room. And Ochaku simply just replied, well, they all just began to rush out of the lunchroom and classes. It's all filled up. We don't know what to do. Well, I might have an idea, but it's a risky one. Well, what is it? Can you use your quirk on me? And how accurate are you with moving things? Pretty accurate, I guess. How accurate are you with big things like me? I don't grab, she said with a puzzled look on her face. Oh, just touch me. Okay. She tapped him on the shoulder and he began to float. Okay, now, you have to lead me all the way to that stand post. Whenever I point go, just push me, okay? Don't push me out the window. As he said this, he opened the door and began to float above all of them. He gave the signal, and Ochaku went to go move her hands to the side, and she was sweating a little bit, but it was nothing special. As he was going though, Ochaku put her head out, making sure not to, well, just drop him or anything, and Izuku gave the thumbs up, and Ochaku let him down. Yo, everyone, what y'all doing? You think that because an intruder is here, all of you should just be running away like this? I mean, look outside, for God's sake. They all looked and then saw that it was, well, how do I explain this? Because the word is slipping from my mind. Reporters, yes, reporters. They saw a bunch of reporters outside. Apparently, one of them went to go sneak in here, and that's what set off the alarm. Don't go start acting like idiots. If it was a real intruder, would this how you be acting? If it was a villain? Come on, we're UA students. We're the best of the best. We have to do better than this. His speech made everyone to stop and cheer for him because he just took the role of leader, and nobody could deny that. You wanna know why? Because on his own, he went to go prevent some kind of mass panicking. As he went to go let himself down safely on the ground, everyone had dispersed safely to the exit. And Momo was there, a little bit roughed up. You okay? He put out a hand for her to grab, and she took it. He hoisted her up. Oh, well, yeah. So, that happened. How did you know there was reporters outside? Momo asked, wondering. Well, I was floating up. I could just see them. Yeah, that makes more sense. She began to scratch her arm a bit and said, I'm sorry for being a little bit hard on you. It's just that I was a bit jealous, you know? I was expecting to be class president, not assistant. And you were pretty reckless, so... It's no worries. He said, flashing a smile, but there was still one thing worrying about him. That sensation that he was feeling. He doesn't feel it unless it was a snake. Yayarozu? Yeah? Momo spoke up. Where exactly does the library connect to from the walls? Oh, well, it connects to the lunchroom, 1D, and the principal's office, I believe? Izuku's eyes went wide, and he just said one word. Shit! What? But before she could even get a response, Izuku had already dashed away from her, and also dashed away from Ochako, who was coming out of the library. As he headed into the principal's office, Nezu wasn't there. He was still outside attending to the reporters. Izuku looked around and saw that everything was still okay, surprisingly. Nothing was touched, nothing was unharmed, nothing was shaking, no holes. And the sensation was well left. Momo and Ochako was able to catch up to them, but they were sweating bullets because that man could run fast. Superhuman, boys. You gotta love it. Izuku, why are you here? You know very well that you get into trouble if Principal Nezu finds out. Come on. Momo said as she was dragging Izuku away, and Ochako closed the door. Yeah, right, sorry. Why were you running? It was nothing, just a hunch really. But still, Izuku felt like something bad was going to happen. He just didn't know when. That's where I'm going to leave it off, guys. I hope that you enjoyed. Sorry for, giving out this part 7 a little bit late, and sorry if this acting was a little bit shit. Honestly, I need to perform a better schedule for this kind of stuff. Again, I'm really sorry for everything. I'll try and do better next time, and if I do go offline, I'll tell you guys why I'm offline. So anyway, this is Grattify What Ifs signing off.